So Dr. Peter Zhu is a client of ours who is a physical therapist specializing in mobility programs to optimize movement. So let's just start off by having you dive a bit more into what you do exactly and how your business model works.
Yeah. So I'm a physical therapist. I'm kind of hybrid between in person as well as online. Traditionally speaking, most people are used to using their insurance, right, for physical therapy, and it is a very hands-on career. So this past year, I've been delving into more like telehealth services just because of the pandemic. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to, reach out to some marketing agencies such as yourself to figure out how I can make that pivot or shift. So currently, I would say I'm about half half between in-person clients as well as online clients. And my business model, right now at least, is you can either do a la carte, sessions where you're working with me for an hour or so, or what I've learned through your agency is trying to book more high ticket clients for more of like a package deal. So right now I'm working on both just because I don't think I ever want to give up that in person, um, you know, method of working with patients and clients just because PT is so hands on. But at the same time, I want to free up more time and book some higher ticket clients that may not need the hands-on, in-person type of services that could still benefit a lot from my knowledge and my skill set. So that's kind of what my business model is right now.
Definitely. So what problems were you facing within your business prior to working with us and the team at Growthology Agency?
So definitely, like I mentioned before, the challenge of convincing people that they don't need to use their insurance necessarily and go that route for PT, and convincing them that they can, get a higher level of care and more personalized care with working, on a cash basis or, directly with me rather than going through their insurance. And for me, I had zero marketing experience. I was just, I was constantly exposed to marketing on Instagram, etc. And I was always wondering, like, oh, how are all these people getting like so many clients, so much viewership? When honestly, their content is nothing like super special, and it's not like they're an expert or anything. So that was the biggest hurdle for me, just kind of convincing myself that it's possible. And before, if you would have asked me like 6 months ago, like, would it be possible to, do PT online? I would have been like, probably not. That's pretty hard. So yeah, that was the number one biggest challenge. Getting people to get over the whole insurance issue, and then also convincing myself that this could be profitable and while still being able to actually help people.
Definitely, completely understand that. So how have things changed within your physical therapy business since taking that first step and investing with us at Growthology Agency?
Well, I have way more exposure. And I have, people DMing me that don't even live on Oahu. So for me, that's a big win. Just, I know I have the skill set. I know I have the value that I can provide people. But the issue for me before was just how can I get myself out there? How can I present what I know and, my skill set in a way that will help bring me clients or in a way that will help give me credibility. So that's the biggest change. I'm walking into the gym nowadays at my local gym, and people that I don't even know recognize me and come up to me and like, hey, you're Dr. Zhu, right? Like I see some of your posts, really quality content, keep on going. And for me, that's like, whoa, that would have never happened before if I never put myself out there, if I didn't kind of learn some of the marketing strategies that you guys presented in your program. And I know I'm still kind of in my infancy in terms of, getting this whole social media down, but I feel, super confident and like I have a really great start so far.
Glad to hear it. Now, in regards to your client acquisition process and your current clientele, how has that scaled up within the past few months?
I like 1,000%, dude. Like I came from having zero personal clients. I used to work for an outpatient clinic, 9 to 5. Kind of felt really out because I was seeing 8 to 10 patients a day, um, getting really underpaid for the value that I'm providing people, working with clients that I'm not necessarily choosing to work with, that are kind of just sent to me. Honestly, I had a lot of regrets about going into my field, especially grad school's not cheap. Getting your doctoral degree is very expensive, and I know a lot of colleagues right now that are still in the 9 to 5 and only have worked 4 years, and they're like, damn, I just want to quit already. Like, I don't feel like this is worth it. And I'm over here like, I totally understand what you're going through, but I don't feel that way now because I can choose my own clients. I can kind of market myself in a way that will attract the type of clientele I want to work with. And I have clients hitting me up every day now, and I'm getting referrals from my in-person clients, as well as like some clients that I'm working online. So I think my base is just going to keep building. And now what I'm working on is more attract, because right now, I'll be honest, a lot of my clients, I'm working on them on like what is that term? Kind of a session by session basis where like they pay me for the session. So I'm working on building out a program that I can hopefully sell and market to higher ticket clients, so that I can stop doing the getting paid for my time kind of business model. But yeah, I mean, I feel like there's been so many doors that have been opened up to me just by putting myself out there, just by being visible on Instagram, by messaging people, like the warm outreaches that you guys taught. It really works. So I'm really happy with the progress.
100%. We're glad to hear that. It's always important to kind of put your own spin on things so that you get more financial freedom and time on your hands, especially with the super saturated niche. So the next question is, why did you decide to invest with us?
So number one definitely is what the first thing I looked at was your guys' follower count. And then I kind of clicked through all the tabs and looked through the testimonials. And I was like, okay, these guys are legit. And then when I got on the call with Renzo, he really sold me, just the kind of the way that he presented himself. I felt really at ease, and he was confident that he could provide value. And in hindsight, that was a really good decision that I made. My friend actually just joined you guys too. Jamie Physio. She was one of my colleagues.
Love to hear that. And we appreciate all the referrals, and funny how that works, looking at the following of the testimonials, exactly like we teach our clients. So let's go a little more in depth about everything, right? So you said before working with us, you didn't really have that exposure, the views, you didn't really know how to market yourself. So talk to us a little bit about the impact of not being able to get that exposure, not being able to market yourself properly. How did that really impact your business?
Yeah. So, well, first of all, I didn't even have an Instagram, at least not for my business. And in hindsight, that was like a huge mistake, because if I had started, just posting here and there, even like 4 years ago, I feel like I would be way, further along than I am now. Um, so the biggest thing is the credibility aspect. Just like you guys mentioned, if someone goes on your page and they see you have like 500 followers, or even 600 followers, that compared to so many other accounts who are more established, they're kind of just going to gloss you over, like, okay, nobody's really following this guy. He must not have good content, or he must not really be that good at what he does. So I think from your program, the instant credibility thing made a huge difference. Like, I didn't even have I think I only posted one thing on my profile, but then I had the follower count, and someone walked up to me and was like, hey dude, you're Dr. Zoo Physio, right? I'm like, yeah, but I only have, so I'm like, okay. So honestly, yeah, that makes a huge difference. And growing organically from there becomes much easier, right? Someone comes to your page, they're like, okay, this guy has this many people following him. Scroll through your content. If it looks good and it looks clean, then they're going to be more invested in you. They might spend a few extra seconds on your page. They might even like some of your things. And when they like some of your things, I kind of followed your guys' concept of a warm outreach where, okay, this guy just engaged with your content. I'm going to go ahead and send them a message. And right now, my method is, if they follow me, I'll send them a message like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Thanks for the follow. If you ever have any questions related to rehab or fitness, feel free to reach out. I love helping people. I'm passionate about what I do. And, so far I've always gotten like really good responses from that. Like, oh, hey, thanks. That's so nice of you. I actually have this. And, then I just immediately respond back like, oh, okay, give them some instant kind of advice, and that gets buy-in, right? So I think working with you guys just really changed the game and my mindset of how to go about meeting people, how to go about interacting people. Because the way that I was going to do it before, it was, I was going to walk around the gym, kind of just creepily look at people from afar and be like, okay, this guy looks like has limited shoulder mobility, or like that guy's kind of limping when he's walking. I'm going to try to go up and talk to them. But that didn't really work out at the gym, especially because people are like, dude, I'm just trying to work out. So this way is, it feels much more natural to me. It's more effective. You already have kind of, things on your feed post that already give you a sense of this guy knows what he's talking about. So in that sense, they're much more receptive to you talking to them.
Gotcha, man. I appreciate the in-depth answers. And so just to recap, the biggest things that really helped you out was credibility, and really how to interact with potential prospects without being creepy, like going up to them at the gym, but more so developing that relationship first before actually reaching out. Does that sound about right? Okay, sweet. So let's talk about their actual results. So I know you said you basically 1,000% increase your clientele. So how has making that amount of money per month with your own business really impacted your life compared to obviously making zero?
I mean, it feels great to finally not feel like I have to be super on it about like budgeting or worried about paying back student loans, and honestly just frees up more time to like invest in myself in terms of continual growth. Like I have way more time to read research articles, to consult with my peers, all of which make me a better clinician, more credible and able to provide more value. So I really see this next year as a pivotal time in which I'm, really growing, expanding my clinical skills, expanding my reach, and just overall improving. So I just feel a lot more confident now, knowing that I'm over this insurance hurdle where people are willing to pay out of pocket for services. Because let's be honest, like most people, if you tell them, oh, you can actually use your insurance for that, they're going to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to use my insurance for that. But when you get to the point, or when I got to this point where I'm like, well, no, I can actually provide you even more value than what your insurance providers can provide you. And, having them pay out of pocket for it, it feels really, really awesome. So yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, definitely. And like we all know, entrepreneurship's a tough road, but you scale exponentially. So it's always a slow start. And then once the wheels start turning, you go up and up and up. So the next question for you would be, what would you say to anybody on the edge of whether or not to work with and invest with us?
For anyone that is on the fence about signing up with a marketing company, I would say that if you know you can provide value to your clients, if you're confident in what you do, there should be no hesitation. And the reason why I say that is, we're living in an ever more digitized world where everything is virtual, everything is online, right? And if you aren't, getting into that game, you're going to be left behind. I know specifically for my field, I know a lot of, PTs, chiros, massage therapists who have all been used to working, in person, have all been maybe like marketing via Yelp or Google, etc. And I feel like they're going to be left behind because everyone nowadays is on social media. They're on social media presenting like what they do, providing testimonials where people can instantly see, okay, this guy benefited from this. You seem like you really know what you're doing. So in the grand scheme of things, investing in a marketing company, Growthology to be specific, is just a really tiny drop in the bucket compared to how much you might spend later on trying to talk with a business consultant, asking them like, okay, what's going wrong, like why am I not getting business? There should be no hesitation. If you're confident in what you do and know you can provide value, like pull the plug.
Definitely. It's always important to stay 10 steps ahead of the market because it's always changing and the world's moving towards the digital space. So it's obviously the right place to be at. So how would you rate your experience working with us and the team at Growthology Agency, just like 1 through 10?
A 10. Honestly, like if just your program alone and the information you guys provide, like I'll be honest, I haven't been great about attending like the weekly Zoom meetings just because that's usually my work time and it's hard for me to get in. But just like the content that you guys have recorded provides immense value for me, and like I'm happy with that alone. So for those that like have the flexibility to consistently attend the weekly meetings, like they're gonna get even more value. And they're recorded too. So I pop in there and I watch the recordings. So yeah, it's just I've gotten a lot of value from you guys.
100%. I'd love to hear that. And so, speaking of like all the different functions of Growthology, what would you say is like your favorite part of the program? So I know you didn't really hop on the Q&A calls, but out of like the community to the program to the credibility, what would you say is like your favorite part working with Growthology?
So I would say between the instant credibility as well as the Discord platform, those two are my top. So the first one, instant credibility, honestly speaks to itself, right? You get a massive follower account. They're all real people. They're not like spam bots. And then number two, the Discord community, just hearing about people's wins really motivates and inspires me. Just yesterday, I forget who it was, but they posted that they landed a 10K client. I'm like, whoa, that's like, so it really kind of pushes me and motivates me. Like, how can I replicate that? Or, it's awesome to see that other people, other entrepreneurs are able to achieve these types of wins while going through your program. And then there's also the, part of the Discord is also the, what is that tab called? The engagement tab, where like everyone kind of posts or everyone puts a link to their posts, and then we all kind of interact with each other. And I've started talking to a few of the members just on Instagram who like I wouldn't have met unless I was in this program with you guys. And they're all really cool. Like we're kind of exchanging knowledge. We're exchanging different tips on what works for us. And it's just a really cool community.
Absolutely, and that's actually a big reason a lot of our clients love our programs. Not necessarily the program or the credibility, but everybody just loves Discord, seeing everybody else win, being able to interact, and honestly, it's giving you finally an opportunity to actually meet people exactly like you. I feel like most of us before Growthology didn't really couldn't really connect with a lot of other online PCs with the same goals. So I definitely understand where you're coming from there. And one final question for you is, who would you recommend Growthology to?
I would recommend Growthology to all PTs out there. And the reason why I say that is because as a profession, one, we're one of the newest healthcare professions out there. When you compare it to chiropractors, doctors, etc., right? Like we're a relatively new field, and because of that, a lot of people have misconceptions about what we do. A lot of people think like, oh, they just do exercise and massage, but in reality, our skill set is way more vast than that. And the knowledge that we spend years and years and years of schooling to obtain is super valuable. But unfortunately, in traditional insurance model, that gets kind of lost. And the reason why I say that is a lot of people that end up going to physical therapy through the insurance route are those that haven't really spent a lot of time and effort, you know, keeping their bodies healthy, right? So when they come to you in a traditional insurance-based model, they're kind of already like, just fix me. Like, I don't really want to do anything. And a lot of PTs get burnt out. And all those years of passion and knowledge that you've had kind of gradually goes away because you lose interest in what you do. Um, and I think that's really sad. So working like thinking outside the box, marketing yourself, working with growthology agency, and realizing what your true potential is and how many people that you can reach that actually want your services and can benefit from it is truly life changing. I just, I like I said, I recommend this to all PTs and even other healthcare professionals who may feel burnt out in the traditional insurance model. Like, know your worth, understand that you have immense value and knowledge, and learn how to apply it.
Absolutely, and obviously it's really, really important to actually make money for what you do, but also it's really, really important to take care of yourself and actually get paid what you work, which is exactly what you've done, Peter. Super proud of you, my man. And then we got one final thing for you is for anybody on the fence working with pathology, whether they have any last questions or they got any last objections, what's your best Instagram handle for them to reach out to you?
Dr. Zhu Physio. So that's DRZHUPHYSIO.
Okay, so you heard the man. Go ahead and shoot him a DM if you have any other questions or if you're on the fence. Or if you're ready to get started, feel free to DM Ibrahim at the Ibrahim Sorry or me at Renzo_Guevara. We'll get you all the details of how to level up your Instagram and how to take your profits, your brand, and your revenue on Instagram to the next level. Rather than that, catch you guys in the next interview. Peace.